Well, they made some. I mean, they made a couple of mistakes. Obviously, to clear a roster spot and not having a lot of minor league starters. Parker Bridwell, he goes. They really let him go for nothing. He goes to the Angels. I mean, they got a minor league guy, and he's got 9 wins. He's pitched pretty well, so that's a big loss. So how do you replace that? Blyer actually started the minor leagues. I would imagine he might have a chance to start next year, to be quite honest. Probably will be in the competition in spring training. Anoa pitched well. Castro, everybody talks about the fact he's got a fastball, slider, and changeup for 22. He's pitched very well. Probably got used a little bit too much in July and August because the Orioles starters were not pitching up to their capabilities. But again, you're looking for young pitchers. They're both young. Blyer's a little bit older. And Anoa's only, 24, I think. So, both Castro and Anoa throw a lot of strikes. And, in a year where the Orioles have walked a lot of guys, I mean, they really haven't walked more than maybe they did in 2008 when they had, at least before this year, the highest earned run average of a starting staff ever in the history of the Orioles. But it just seems that when they walk guys, they score. So home runs are up, and, by about 18 or 20. You have a couple of guys to choose from. But again, to really compete in the American League East against the Red Sox and the Yankees, it would be nice to have a number 1 starter, and they're still looking for that.
What did you see from Tanner Scott in his Major League debut?
A really good arm. I talked to him at length. I said, I walked 130 and 129 innings in A-ball, so you don't have anything on me, because he's always had a great arm and trouble commanding it. Little surprised. I know they gave him starts. He never really, he pitched about 69 innings, never threw over 65 pitches. I know that I never would have learned to pitch if I was limited to that, but that's what it is. And, we talked about not covering first base. He said, that's the last time I'll ever do that again. I said, fine. So you learn something. Thought he threw a lot of breaking balls. And Tom, I think what happens when you're a minor league guy and you come up, even if you throw 99 to 100 miles per hour, and he has a reputation for having that kind of arm, you have to pitch to the scouting report, or maybe sometimes you pitch to it because that's what your catcher is doing. So probably more breaking balls than I saw. I said, you're not the first guy that Pedroia has looked for a fastball in a fastball count and did something with it. He was hitting .351 against left-handed pitching, and Tanner Scott is left-handed. So I think he kind of realized that maybe I should not get into that count, and if I do, I need to make a better pitch. But we talked about kind of if you play tennis, where do you start? You start in the middle of the tennis court, and then you learn to go to the corners with a top spin or a slice. Pitching's no different. Maybe throw your fastball from the middle of the plate, knee high. You'll find out it doesn't go there, and then you make adjustments from there. But he's got a great arm, and how he'll be used in the future. That's because he wasn't a reliever this year. He started. I'm not sure that Buck Showalter actually wants somebody in his bullpen. They can only pitch once every 5th day. So, again, a great future because he's got a great arm. He's just going to have to figure out how to throw strikes.